Nevin never knew that some nights aren't meant to be forgotten, and that there are roads you walk alone that take something from you forever. She was just trying to be an adult for once, trying to act like any 19-year-old looking for a real job. But the job never came, and the silence at home was heavy, so she decided to try night deliveries, something temporary, something safe. Or that's what she thought. She'd been delivering since noon, going from restaurant to house until her steps grew heavy and her mind felt thin, fragile enough that shadows started to look like people and quiet places felt like traps. Her next order took her to a far-off neighborhood, big houses, long, dark streets, the kind of place where you feel like you're the only living thing walking outside. Or maybe something else just never comes out. Her mom always told her, the real night isn't outside, it's inside you. Nevin never understood that sentence, not until that night. She waited 20 minutes inside Taco Bell, ignored by everyone. But that wasn't what scared her. It was the sticky feeling in her chest, growing slowly, like something inside her was waking up, something that only wakes when you're alone and being watched.
She grabbed the order and drove, and the closer she got to the house, the fewer streetlights she saw. The houses were spaced out, the dark got deeper, and the emptiness started to feel alive. She walked up to the house. The air felt heavy, like the night was pressing down on her lungs with its hand. She dropped off the food, snapped a picture, and started walking backward. That's when she heard it. Not an animal, not footsteps, not anything familiar. It was slow, low to the ground, like something crawling on all fours or crawling only on its bones. Her breath froze. The air turned to ice inside her chest, and something old inside her woke up, a filthy childhood fear she had buried deep, waiting for this exact moment. Don't look. That's what her mind said, but her body turned on its own. She saw it. A low shadow, sliding across the grass with unnatural speed, coming straight toward her. No shape, no face, just a black mass crawling, like the earth itself was trying to spit it out. Her Achilles tendons tightened. She felt pain before anything even touched her, the same pain she imagined every time she remembered the Achilles cutting scene in Pet Sematary. She always feared something would grab her from below, something she couldn't see, something that knew exactly where fear hurts the most. The shadow stopped. A thick, pulsing silence filled the air. Then, a tiny light blinked, and she realized it was a lawn-mowing robot, a stupid, soulless machine. She laughed until her knees shook, laughed so hard tears came out. But the laughter never reached the inside, because deep down she knew the truth. The fear that shaped itself in front of her didn't come from the machine. It came from somewhere deeper, somewhere inside her, something that used the darkness, the quiet, and the empty neighborhood to step forward. She got into her car, trembling, shut the door like something outside was trying to follow her in. But before she could start the engine, she heard it. One knock. On the back window. A heavy, slow, deliberate knock from a hand that knew exactly where she was sitting. Did she turn around? No, she couldn't, because she knew whatever stood behind her window wasn't a robot and wasn't her imagination either. It was something else, something the emptiness had awakened that night, something that liked the taste of her fear and decided to follow her home. And some things, when they follow you in the dark, never stop. Ever. When Nevin finally made it home, midnight was almost pressing against the sky. The city felt unnaturally quiet, like it had suddenly misplaced all its sounds. She stood at the door for a few seconds, unable to push the key into the lock. That knock she'd heard on her car window was still echoing in her skull. It wasn't loud, but it carried something suffocating, like whoever made it knew she'd hear it even if she were buried 6 feet under. She managed to open the door and stepped inside. She didn't want to wake her parents, so she walked on her toes, but the house felt awake, its walls breathing, its shadows shifting slowly, deliberately. That feeling of something following her still clung to her back, heavy, cold, like thin metal fingers tracing the length of her spine. She slipped into her room and shut the door behind her. She didn't turn off the lights. She couldn't. She sat on her bed, breathing hard, trying to convince herself she was okay, that she was safe, that it was just some stupid robot cutting grass. But her mind didn't buy it, because her mind whispered something else. The robot didn't scare you. It just woke up the fear you were already carrying. She laid her head down, but sleep refused to come. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt weight in the room, the presence of someone sitting on the floor, watching her, a cold shadow near her feet, a warm breath near her ear. The room didn't feel like one whole space anymore. It felt split in two, her and the thing that followed her from that lonely neighborhood. Around 3 a.m., her wooden door exhaled. Not a creak of opening, not a click of closing, but the sound of wood bending as if something behind it was dragging its fingers across the surface. And then came the sound that froze her blood. A scratching, soft, slow, dragging itself across the wooden floor behind the door. Her heartbeat punched its way up her throat. Every cell in her body screamed, "Don't look! Don't look!" But some fears don't give you a choice. Some fears make sure you see them, even if you'd rather go blind. Slowly, she turned her head toward the door. The scratching continued. Something was crawling. That same dragging motion she'd seen in the grass, but closer now. Much closer. Then it stopped. A strange silence filled the room. A silence that felt like it had shape. Then a long black shadow slid under the door. Not a human shadow, not an animal. A shadow of something that moved on its bones. Then she saw its fingers, thin, impossibly long, not made of flesh, but something hollow, something that had been dead for a very long time. The fingers crept beneath the door, inch by inch, until the tips were inside her room, only a few steps from her feet. And at that moment, something inside her simply stopped breathing. Then the shadow froze. The fingers went still, and slowly everything pulled back. Not outward, but inward. Under her bed. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She didn't move. Because she knew there was something under her bed now, lying there, waiting for her to turn off the light, waiting for her feet to touch the floor. And some things don't come to hurt you right away. Some things come to wait. And the night is very, very long.
Nevin didn't sleep that night. She sat on her bed, not moving a finger, staring into nothing, listening to her heavy breathing mix with another breath, a breath that wasn't hers. She didn't dare look under the bed, and she didn't need to, because she could feel it. Every second that passed, she felt its presence pressing down the air, pushing against the walls, breathing with her, as if it was learning how humans breathe so it could mimic her. When the sun finally rose, she didn't feel any relief. The light didn't chase it away, it only made it calmer, as if the sun were just a blanket the entity hid under, waiting for the right moment. Her mom suddenly opened the bedroom door. "You okay? You look like you didn't sleep at all." Nevin swallowed hard. She couldn't tell her. How could she explain to a loving woman that something had crawled into the house with her, something that fed on her fear and had become part of the space? But her mom noticed something. She stopped at the edge of the bed, leaned down, and reached for something small on the floor. It was a lock of hair, black hair, longer than Nevin's, damp as if it had crawled out of a dark tunnel. Her mom asked, "Is this yours?" Nevin shook her head, tears trembling in her eyes, but not falling. Her mom picked up the strand and said, "Maybe it just fell out of your hair during the night." But Nevin knew. She knew the truth she couldn't say aloud. The hair didn't fall from her. The hair fell from it. When it crawled under her bed, when it reached out to test the distance between her fear and her ankles. After her mom left, Nevin slowly looked under the bed. She saw nothing, but the darkness there wasn't ordinary darkness. It was thick, had depth, smelled of old earth, like a door opening into another world. And at that moment, she realized one thing. The thing that followed her from that distant neighborhood was no longer living in the grass. It now lived in her house, and especially under her bed. And the real tragedy wasn't that it had come, but that it had chosen her. And things that choose you in the dark never leave you. Never.
If you reach the end, you are one of the loyalists. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.